Hi class, I'm Dr. Wilt. Glad to meet you. For the next 16 weeks, we're going to be working together here trying to help you to understand more how to be a good presentational speaker. And it's going to be a challenge a little bit because we're doing this all asynchronously instead of coming to the classroom. I know these are weird times. I'm just glad I don't have to put my mask on right now. But during these next 16 weeks, we're going to be learning how to be a good speaker, and we're going to do that through some readings, watching videos, seeing some PowerPoint presentations, and then, of course, you're going to be taking a couple of exams in there, and you will also be uploading speeches. And those speeches are going to be things you're going to record. Probably you'll record them with your phone, or maybe you'll do it with your webcam. You'll save them as an MP4 file. You can either send them to me that way as a submission on Canvas, or you can actually put it into YouTube and send me the link on YouTube. Now, I do want to mention to you, if you do YouTube, you have to make it public. I'm going to repeat that. You got to make it public. If you don't make it public, if it stays private, I can get to it. I can't see it. So make it public. And of course, once I grade it, you can pull it down, make it private, or just delete the whole thing. It doesn't matter. And sometimes I actually prefer people do it in YouTube unless you just want to send me the MP4 file on that. Now, I'm going to take you through a little tour of Canvas here in just a moment. But first, I wanted to tell you is that this is going to be a little difficult because you're not going to be talking from a classroom. You're just going to be talking to a camera or maybe to your phone, and then I'll be doing the grading on it. But along the way, you're going to have discussion boards. We'll talk about that in a moment too. And then I'll be sending you videos like this and just some announcements that kind of keeps you up to date what we're doing online. So we're going to now switch over to, and we'll go through the Canvas with you. Once again, I really am excited about teaching you. Well, this is my dashboard, and you can see I've just got this one course here, which is, of course, your course. If I go into that course, and you know this, I mean, you've had a dashboard before, and I'm going to take you through what is actually in this course. Now, you're looking at the instructor's view. Yours is a little bit different. I've got some things you don't have, but basically, I see a lot that you see, and then, I have the full grade book, and of course, you don't. Now, let me start off by saying that if you've never taken an online course before, they're not difficult once you figure out how to maneuver through the course, how to kind of navigate the process. Anytime you have an online course, you have to just stay very, very consistent and very disciplined about every week going in, seeing what you've got that is due, and then systematically taking care of those assignments. Now, what you can see here is that when you go to the home page, you're actually seeing where it has, my message has a course schedule, which is including the syllabus. And if I click right here on the course schedule, and you probably have done the same thing, you're going to see, okay, where is it? There, it's slowly coming up. Okay, here we come. Your computer's probably a lot faster than mine is right now. But that course schedule is going to show you each week what is due. And so in this case here, you can see this comes straight off of your syllabus, and you can see the first week. And now, first of all, I want to show you here, it says week of. Remember, we're not working with particular days like you would if you were actually coming to class where we would meet on a Tuesday or Thursday. So that's why you see the week of. And assignments, when they're due the Sunday of that week. So even though it says the King's Speech assignment is assigned on the 24th and is due on the 31st, it's not due on the 31st, is due that Sunday of the 31st, which I believe is going to probably be, the 6th. So that's what you got to keep in mind all the time. So this is a good way to see as a overall glance, and you can scroll down, you can see all how it keeps going all the way through December when the final grades are going to be due, and we'll post them on the 12th. So that's your course schedule. Always go down, watch this, make sure that you're staying up on top of it. Okay, next thing, you guys, you have your syllabus, and your syllabus, if I was to load it all, oops, sorry about that, we're just not going to go there. Okay, there we go. Now we're coming to the syllabus. If you go to the syllabus, you can click up here at the top and that'll take you to the syllabus. It gives you a lot of information, but it also has a course summary in there too. And the course summary basically is showing your assignments. Now, what it is not showing you right now are your quizzes. Your quizzes are outlined on the actual course schedule page, but the course summary page is just going to have your assignments. Plus, it's going to have your initial postings and your reply postings. Now, you can see there's no due dates on that, and that's because it's happening all throughout the semester. Then, let's go over to the modules. Now, you've already started into the first module. And so every time you go to the module, which actually your modules will pop up. I said they'll pop up when you hit the home page. When you first go in, you can see, and then right here for the first week, which was August 24th, you can see how to succeed. Next step is going to tell you about your readings. Every week you have a readings. Here you had a video to watch, and I tell you about the King's Speech paper that you're going to be writing. And then I have you to watch a very brief video, which is the trailer to the King's Speech. Because in Module 2, or Week 2 here, not only give your reading, you can read here about the speech anxieties of celebrities. There's a video that I recorded, Part 1 and Part 2, about note cards and stage fright. And then here is where you're going to submit your written document for your reflection on the King's Speech. Now, I gave you some ways to get to the King's Speech, some different ways, just like I probably told you in the in the announcements. Be very careful that you don't get any of these spams or phishing along the way. But make sure you watch that movie, and then you can do your assignment. And that assignment, as you can see here, is due on September 6th, 11:59 p.m., is worth 100 points. Then this particular week, you're going to go into your first discussion. And when you go into the discussion, you'll click on here, and then it's going to take you into discussion. I'm sorry, my computer's a little slow. Okay, here we go. So here's a case where I'm going to say, watch a 3-minute video clip and then answer the following questions. List the main causes for speech anxiety. What speech anxieties do you find yourself facing the most? So discussions are not particularly difficult, but they have to be done as part of the course. And the reason why is the discussions, if you've never taken an online course before, they mimic the in-classroom discussions. So where I may ask you a question, you may say, the answer. That's what the discussion board does. So when you post your discussion to these questions, then it says you've got to post those by Wednesday at 11:59 at night p.m. But then you have to go in there and reply to one of your classmates before Sunday at 11:59 p.m. And that reply is basically, you're going to read what they say. They're going to list their main causes of speech anxiety, and they're going to go in there and say which one they're facing the most. Now, it's up to you to go back in there and respond to it. And a good response is not, John, I agree, or John, I've got the same. No, you've got to expand upon that. Now, people ask me, how long are these discussions? Your initial discussion is typically between 150 to 300 words. That's not a whole lot. And your response is typically between 100 words and 200 words. So basically, the first one is 200 on the average, and the second, the response is around 150, 125. So how do you do a good response? Look at what the person says. If a person says their biggest fear is that they're going to throw up, let's say, because their stomach gets all in a knot and everything else. Well, I gave you some things to do here to help you, and that's where you may go back in there and look at the PowerPoint again, the video I constructed, or maybe I tell people do a little Googling and get some more information. That's what makes a very good response, is where you've got more information that you actually can respond to the person. Okay, at that point, now you can see when I did that, it went right over here to the discussion section. And let's go back to the modules now. Anytime I go in there, if I was to click down here, you see this has more like a sheet of paper with a pen on it. That's an assignment compared to the discussion icon. And this here is just what you're going to go in. This is what we call the page, where you're going to watch a video or you're going to read something where it's going to tell you here to read. So for example, if you're to click this one here, you're not going to see a whole lot except for I'm going to give you the chapter outline in there. And so you have a pretty good idea of what you're going to be looking at. Now once again, see what happens? I told you it's like a page. It takes you over here to the page. Now you can go forward by going to next, and that will work you through. Oh, I thought the speech anxiety was actually something you're going to read, but it looks like it's actually a video. So it's going to take you through everything in the modules. Now, the assignments are here, the discussions. You can see on mine is the quizzes. You can't see it. See that little eye with the cross? That means you can't see it because they're not in there yet. Once I put them in, which actually they're sitting over there, I will activate it, and when it activates, then you can see it, just like you can see these other items also in here. And you can see down here, there's a few things we just don't use. We don't use conference collaborations. We don't use outcomes. But at the same time, you're always welcome to go there and look at the pages, look at the files, because that's where a lot of the course documents are put into. Now, sometimes they're not showing on yours like they show on mine. You don't see all of them, and you may not be able to see any at all until I actually go there and activate them, or maybe they are activated. But that's a way to go and see all the course documents. But, you know, what I've done is I've already put them into the actual modules. Now, you do have some speeches you're going to have to do. And when you do those speeches, and as we go down through the modules here, you're going to see that, you know, here we go. We got all these different things until right here. When you see that paper clip, that means that you're going to have the instructions for a speech or something that you have got to do. And you see, once again, this one's loading up and it's telling you everything you've got to do for your special occasion speech. And I give you a lot of detail about how you're going to do it. Now, when you do your speech, what you're going to do is you're going to record it. You can use your webcam, you can use your camera, it doesn't matter. But a couple things. Number one is that always consider your background. I don't want to see a webcam that's shooting up and I'm looking up your nostrils of your nose and your background is your ceiling. If you're going to use the webcam on your camera, on your laptop, put some books underneath it so that the camera is at eye level. And that way I'm seeing you. And then your background needs to be professional, which can be a blank wall, or, you know, if you got a bookcase or maybe something that looks nice in there. What I don't want to see is I do not want to see the back where I'm looking out a window. And the reason why is because the brightness behind you, even though I love to see the view, the brightness behind you makes you dark where I can't see you. So the backlight has to be darker than you are. It may be that you have to go in there and put a light on you somehow to brighten you up some. So you can shoot it with your laptop webcam, or you could take your, for that matter, take your smartphone and shoot it. But I want to warn you about this. Certain smartphones cannot shoot more than a certain period of time before they kind of run out of all that great memory and everything else. So make sure that you experiment with your smartphone, then load it up as an MP4, submit that. And the way you're going to submit it, I'm going to go back over here to the modules again. So when it's time for you to go in there and submit it, you know, here we go down here. Remember where that was? That was, okay, well, it was up there. There it is, your special occasion. It has a little paper clip because that is an assignment. But when you submit it, okay, here where it has the pencil, that is the actual submission. And here it is, it's due on September 20th. And once again, look, this is 9/14. Well, what's going on here? Okay, once again, you have to submit it on the week of 9/14, but it's not due until September 20th at 11:59 at night. And of course, this is where you're going to click onto it. And if you go down to the very bottom down here, you're going to see the rubric on there. And then this is your submission page. Now, I don't have the submit button like you have the submit button on yours. I get your submissions. So you have the submit button where you will load a file. You can load that MP4 or whatever you're going to load. Okay, folks, that's really about it. I just wanted to go through this with you very quickly. We will not be using Zoom. I don't use Lockdown Browser. That's what you use for quizzes. Zoom we'll use that only if you want to talk to me through an office hour. And I want to make sure everyone understands that I do not do office hours on campus, but I do them by way of Zoom. So anytime you want to meet with me and talk, just send me an email and I will send you the Zoom invitation, and then we will talk and take care of whatever needs to be done. Now, there's some other things in here like academic, sport, library, attendance. Don't worry about that. That's what you do in synchronous, not asynchronous. So you can certainly look at all those items. If you ever have any questions at all about Canvas, I know that you've had Canvas before. You probably have used it, but probably not to this extent. Let me know and I'll help you think through it. The main thing now is Canvas, you're going to be using 2/3 of the time compared to in the past, you maybe were just using 10 or 15% of the time. Now you're using that Canvas. And don't remember, do your reading, do those assignments, not many assignments at all. And make sure you do those discussion postings. And then when the quizzes come up, I will post those and you'll see all of a sudden they become active, and those would be the open book quizzes, but they're also timed, which means that if you have not read the chapters, you're not going to be able to be successful. So for example, you may have 60 questions on the quiz, and I'm going to give you 45 minutes to answer those 60 questions. So that means you have, 45 seconds. If you don't know the materials, you won't be able to answer it. So I haven't quite got to the point yet where I've decided which quiz is going to be which. Once again, any questions, please let me know. I'm looking forward to working with y'all all this semester. And we will talk again soon.